What's going on, everyone? So in this video, I'm gonna be sharing my top 3 sales techniques you can use to close more deals. And you wanna make sure you watch this video until the end because these are gonna be some more advanced sales techniques not a lot of people are using, and you can use them to get that advantage over your competitors. Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Patrick Dang with Sales Legacy, the ultimate sales masterclass. I will show you everything you need to know when it comes to starting and accelerating your sales career. Now, before we get started, make sure to give this video a like, subscribe, and turn on the notifications, and let's get to it. Now, the first technique that I have for you is to answer a question with a question. This may be very counterintuitive in that in general, whenever somebody asks you a question, the natural thing to do is to answer that question. For example, if the prospect says, "How much is it?" You just give them a price, or "How long will it take?" 3 months, right? You just it's so obvious, right? If they ask you a question, just answer it. But here is why you might be shooting yourself in the foot by answering that question directly. Because when you don't know where that question is coming from and you answer it, you might actually disqualify yourself in the prospect's mind. For example, let's say you wanna do a certain job done and you know that it's gonna take you an average around 3 months. So the prospect is gonna ask you, "So how long is this going to take if I buy your service, Patrick?" And if I say 3 months, they're thinking in their heads, maybe they wanna do it in 1 month, right? And if you tell them 3, they're gonna say, "Oh, okay, cool, thanks for letting me know." And then they're gonna go back to their team and they're gonna say, "Hey, Patrick can't get it done in 3 months. I don't think we're gonna go with him because it's gonna take too long." Right? Because you answered their question directly, you never had an opportunity to really understand where that question was coming from. So that's why you want to answer a question with a question so you get to the truth of where the intention behind that question is coming from. So instead of just answering 3 months, I could say something like, "That's a really interesting question, John. Now I'm just curious, is there a certain day that you would like to get this done by?" Now they're gonna say, "Yeah, we're trying to get it done in 1 month." And you could say, "Okay, interesting. Why do you wanna get it done in 1 month?" And so you start getting deeper into the real crux of the problem. And if you can actually get the job done in 1 month and they want 1 month, but you can do it, but you might have to charge a little bit more to get it done faster, well, now you're opening a conversation. You can say, "Hey, look, we can get it done for 1 month, but then here's gonna be the price because usually 1 month is much faster than industry average. However, because we're good, we can do it for you, but here is the catch." And then you kind of have a conversation of why you would charge a certain price to get it done by that day. They see the value and then they pay for it. So instead of disqualifying yourself from the meeting or the sales conversation, you open it up by answering their question with a question. This can be done for any type of objection that you may have. So not just for budget and time, literally anything. Before you answer their question, make sure you know for sure why they are asking that question so you can answer it appropriately. Now, the next tip I have for you is you're gonna want to challenge the customer. Now, this one is extremely powerful because the reason why you wanna challenge your customers is you want to reframe the way they think and you wanna show them why your product and service, like where the value is coming from. Because if someone is satisfied with the current way, the old way that they are doing things, well, why would they spend money to change it up if it's already working? So that's why you have to challenge them and say, "Hey, I understand what you're doing is working, but do you think that you can do it better, faster, cheaper, get better results?" Right? And by challenging the current way they're doing it, they start to think, maybe I should think about what I can do to improve this because we've been stale for so long. So challenging is very important. An example would be this. Let's say I am selling recruiting services, right? And so my job is to find sales talent and, get them into a high-paying sales job. And the person who is thinking about using my services, let's say it's a company, right? And they're saying, should I hire Patrick to help me find sales candidates? I'm not sure. Let me talk to Patrick. So the company might be asking me, "Okay, Patrick, look, I understand your value, but why should we pay you all this money to find salespeople when we could do it ourselves," right? They have a current way of doing it that works, but now I'm gonna challenge them and I'm gonna say, "Okay, look, have you ever built a sales organization before?" They're saying, "Nope, this is the first time." I'll say, "Okay, so there's no old way of doing it. If you did it by yourself, how much time would you be spending learning the skill of recruiting, finding these people and trying to hire them? How long do you think it'll take?" And they're gonna give me a day. And they might say, "Oh, because it's the first time, maybe it'll take, 3 to 6 months to build a full team." And you're gonna say, "Okay, well, 3 to 6 months seems like quite a bit of time for industry average. Why not do it faster?" Then they're gonna say, "Well, we don't know how," right? And so you start challenging. You're in a way, you're challenging the way they're thinking about doing something. And then you're kind of offering your solution later on, and you're gonna have that conversation where you say something like, if you can get it done in 1 month, Like, what would that look like for your business? Wouldn't that be totally different from what you were thinking? And then they're gonna say, yeah, if we can do it 1 month, that's great, but we don't know how to do it. And then obviously they pay for a service for me to do it for them, right? So always find a way to challenge the old way or the current way a customer is doing something. Another example would be, let's say a company relies on foot traffic. Let's say there are a retail store and people walk by, they have this nice property, and then, because it's a high traffic area, people walk in the door. And I could challenge this person and say, look, it's great that this is working, but what if everything gets shut down? Or what if nobody's walking on the street anymore? Can your business survive? What are you gonna do to prepare for that? And so now you're challenging them. They're gonna be thinking like, okay, that's true. If there's nobody walking, we're gonna go out of business. Now I'm challenged. Now I gotta find a way to diversify my income a little bit, right? And so by challenging them, it opens up new opportunity for growth. And it's a win-win, because it's a win for them because they have a new opportunity for growth. And it's a win for me because I'm selling a product or service that helps my customers grow. So it's a win-win situation. So whatever it is that you're selling, make sure you challenge your customers if you're having trouble showing them your value and showing them why they should switch to you versus the current way they're doing it. And by challenging, they're gonna see your value. Now, the next tip I have for you is to tell stories. Now, stories are extremely powerful and an effective way to get people to understand your message, your value, and the things, it gets them to remember who you are. Now, you think about this, human beings are, creatures that love to tell stories. And I think I read a book in the past called Sapiens, and they were kind of sharing that because we're able to tell stories as human beings, we're able to communicate, and these are things that the stories that we tell each other are very easy to remember, especially if there are life lessons in them. And by sharing stories when it comes to your past customers, these are ways to get your prospects to be more interested in your products and services, and a way for them to relate to what you're doing, because you can't just tell someone like, oh, we got this amazing software. You gotta say like, we got this software. Here's the people we helped who are just like you. Here's the challenges they had that were just like you. And here is how they overcame them, right? And now you're telling a story. When you're telling a story, people are a lot more captivated. They're more interested. It's more relatable. They understand the value. They don't have to know all the technical details and specs. They just need to know that, hey, is this gonna work for them? Okay, great, let's go. So here's an example. Let's say I'm selling lead generation services, helping people generate meetings, right? And I could say, hey, Sally was a consultant who was doing okay by herself, but the challenges that she had was she had to rely on friends and family for her first customers. And then after that, after she served a few customers, that well kind of dried up, and she wasn't able to generate more business for her services because, well, she didn't know how to generate meetings. Now, she tried going to networking events, but she found that it was just a big waste of time. She tried cold calling herself and sending emails, but no one was really responding. And for her, her skill set is not, sales, it's actually doing the things she's an expert in. So when she started talking to us and we proposed a solution, we said, hey, you do what you do great, and we will work on generating you leads. And the leads will come in, you talk to them on the phone and you close them. But we will do all the heavy lifting and finding the right people and bringing them to your doorstep. How does that sound? And by us partnering up together, Sally was able to generate a consistent 20 meetings per month, and her business has never been better because she focuses on what she's good at while we focus on what we're good at to help drive more customers to her business. So that's just an example of a story, right? And so anybody who is like a consultant or a freelancer or something like that, they may be able to relate because they might be an expert at what they do. Let's say it's like design, branding, or whatever, right? And they're just not that great at sales. So if we do the sales for them, they pay us, we bring the customers in, they do the service, and everybody wins, right? And so that's a story I know that everybody can relate to because they're experts, but they don't like to do sales. So if we do sales for them, it's a win-win. So whatever it is you're selling, you gotta have stories. You gotta be able to tell a story, and the main elements are, who's the subject, who's the character, what challenges do they have, what have they tried to do by themselves, but it didn't work, and then when they worked with us, what did we do for them specifically that helped them achieve their goals, and how does that relate to the person I'm telling the story to? You hit all those points, that's gonna be an amazing story anybody can relate to. So whatever it is you're selling, please find a way to tell a story, make it interesting so people can relate to your products and services. And so with that said, those are gonna be some of my best tips when it comes to closing more deals. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to give it a like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. And if you really want to take your sales game to the next level, make sure to check out my masterclass, Sales Legacy. Link is in the description. And Sales Legacy, if you don't know already, is my masterclass that's gonna teach you everything from A to Z on starting how to generate meetings with your dream customers, closing deals. So if you are someone who's looking to start or even accelerate your sales career as a salesperson or even an entrepreneur, make sure to check the link in the description for a 1-hour free training to see if it's right for you. With that said, my name is Patrick Deng, and I'll see you guys in the next one.